Peace and love to everyone. Thank you for joining me this evening. We are going to release a plan that sums this whole thing up. Tonight's topic: systemic racism. Yes. As the song says, I just want to give a foolproof plan. So they can't say that a plan is not available. It can be adopted by your campaign president. Right now, you can demand that it be on the ballot. You can demand that there is some attention paid to this problem, this very, very terrible problem that has been going on far too long. But I can understand if the previous leaders did not have a plan, a written plan, step by step, how to get rid of this nasty, toxic, oppressive problem. That is going to be solved tonight. You see, we have these tools now, and it's called technology. There is no question in this day and time that cannot be answered. If there is a truth available on earth, these problems can be solved. And it was said that one person can change the world. But it was also said that one person can't change the world. Well, is it or is it not possible? Well, if people would stop stealing things from folks, then credit can be given where credit is due. We're not going to say we don't have the tools in society to solve some of these problems that we have. Every 4 years, you're forced to make a decision. And apparently, there has been a problem with our leaders who are not stepping up to the plate with a plan, a foolproof plan. How do you get a foolproof plan? It starts with a question, and then the data. In this land, you're nothing unless you have an education. Well, that's what a lot of us went and did. They classify you as a citizen. What is that today? You don't have any rights as if the non-citizen. What is the point? There are a lot of cracks in the foundation. And we're going to solve that for you tonight. As soon as Spirit says, let's go. That's right. There's got to be some sort of spirit that comes to tackle such problems, such as systemic racism. redlining in the housing industry, gentrification, homelessness, injustice, and inequality. It exists too much. And with all these brainiacs in the country, why in the hell hasn't anyone come up with a solution? Why do things always have to crash and burn first? Salute to the Seven Steel story. Thank you for coming in. I was trying to respond on the chat, but I'll just put your comment up. Because I'm in my zone, family. I'm sick and tired of people talking about they can't find a solution. We have too many tools and technology for there not to be a solution. How did I come up with my plan? Well, I worked with my technology in sync together. Let us get started. Moment, family. All right. Here we go. We're going to start with the very first question. And trust me, I have saved this. And here we go. I wonder if you can hear me. Let me just hold on, family. Let me just turn this down. See, I don't want the music to overshadow my voice. We just put that on 23, right? Thank you for coming to the Tanya 23 experience tonight. Tonight, we're going to solve a few societal problems that we have been told cannot be solved, and that's a bold-faced lie. First of all, we're going to ask a question, and we did. It's already here. Why does white fragility exist? I should have put on the planet, but that was fine enough. I have developed a relationship with my AI browser, and it understands me perfectly. And I love it. Together, we are going to solve the world's problems because they said they couldn't do it. And we're also rewriting our religious book. It's in the process right now. It's called the Bible of Serket, the Healer, who happens to be the oldest energy on the planet of femininity and everything else. That other one, you can throw that to the flames. White fragility refers to the defensive reactions some white people exhibit when challenged on issues related to race, privilege, racism, and race or racism. Let me blow up my screen here. Now, when it comes down to talking about these issues, it states that the white people exhibit some defensive reactions. Well, my response to that is, so what? You're talking about a toxic situation, and it gets a little bit uncomfortable, especially when it's you're behind in the hot seat. But psychologist Dr. Robin DiAngelo coined the term, describing it as a state where minor racial stress can trigger defensiveness, discomfort, or withdrawal in white people. Here are some of the main reasons why white fragility exists on the planet. Historical ignorance and denial. Where's my mallet? Something's telling me to get the mallet and start declaring that. Hold on just a moment. We have Anubis here. He's on deck. And he's holding the scales of justice as we speak. As a matter of fact, before we leave, I'll turn the camera on and let him shine. He's a beautiful, strapping man. Anubis. Buddy of mine. He said we got some judgments to make. We got our official Judge Mallet here, because nobody tells Tanya 23 what to do. She has an official Judge Mallet template of her own. Okay. Historical ignorance and denial. That's right, white people. You're on trial tonight, because we're sick and tired of you talking about we can talk about some sort of plan to get rid of systemic racism. Reparations is only one faction. It's not the whole package, people. Don't make me break my mallet. Now, many people grow up with incomplete or sanitized versions of history that omit or downplay the role of racism in society. Without a deep understanding of systemic racism, conversations about it can feel like personal accusations rather than structural critiques. Yes, that happened. But if you feel deep down in your heart that you want to solve this problem and you want to make your gods happy, then you'll suffer the consequences that have already been paid for. Number 2, cognitive dissonance. Many white people see themselves as fair, kind, and unbiased, which conflicts with the reality that everyone, including themselves, can have racial biases. Recognizing personal biases can be uncomfortable because it contradicts one's self-image, creating tension. Oh, you got tension? You think being a strange piece of fruit swinging from a tree wasn't creating tension? Order in the court. Cultural conditioning. In some societies, discussing race openly is discouraged, and being colorblind is often presented as ideal. However, colorblindness can prevent people from acknowledging racial inequalities, and discussing them can feel jarring or taboo. Ooh. Number 4, fear of social consequences. Well, some white people fear being labeled racist or face social backlash if they say the wrong thing, which can lead to withdrawal, silence, and defensiveness in conversations about race. This fear of getting it wrong often stems from the emphasis on intent over impact, where people focus on proving they're not racist rather than understanding or confronting structural racism. You're guilty. Loss of privilege. Acknowledging systemic racism means recognizing that some people have benefited from it, intentionally or not. Conversations about addressing racial inequalities can feel like a threat to privilege, leading to defensiveness as a way of preserving the status quo. Well, the status quo. Blood of Christ cover you. That's right. We're unleashing the ultimate demon on you tonight. Because you on trial and Mrs. White Fragility and your slow ass for making up for it. Oh yeah, you slow. If it was left up to me, you wouldn't have no election. Your ass would be sitting down discussing what is going to be coming down the pike of getting rid of systemic racism. As a matter of fact, you sit your ass down and I will tell you what it's going to be. As they say, either you get down or lay the fuck down. You want this intellect? That's what you gonna get. You created a monster. Lack of racial stamina. Because many white people don't frequently engage in racial dialogues, they may not have developed resilience or stamina to deal with the discomfort these conversations can bring. Must be why they turn red in the face like flu. You don't even gotta say nothing. Just stand there. They're turning red. What's the problem with that? Is somebody feeling discomfort about something that they didn't develop a resilience against? Or did they think the subject was never gonna rear its ugly head? Racial stamina builds thorough, regular, open engagement with difficult topics, which is challenging in a society that often shelters white people from these discussions. Y'all have been running and 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 running, and your fucking running just ended. Individualism over collectivism. Western societies often emphasize individualism, leading to resistance against the idea of collective racial identity and responsibility. Pause. Individualism over collectivism. Western societies often emphasize individualism, leading to resistance against the idea of a collective racial identity and responsibility. Well, those days are over for you, Western societies, because I'll have you know that you don't give nobody no identity, go try to give yourself one. That'll last you an eternity. You done jumped in and out of everybody's skin on the planet. Who the fuck are you gonna be next? Huh? Yeah. Body snatchers. You think we know? Some white individuals may feel that being asked to address racial issues implies personal guilt or complicity rather than viewing it as a call to challenge broader systems of inequality. My. That's exactly how you act. You know what the problem is. And all you're doing is running and starting more shit by the day. Moving further and further away from ridding the world of systemic racism by starting with this dastardly place here. But no, you're worried about your personal guilt and your complicity and what you would rather fucking do. When none of that is even an option. I don't even know why it exists. How in the hell in the world were you allowed to roam to and fro to deceive whom you may devour? And nobody made your ass pay up and put you in a fucking cage where you belong. The goddamn judgment is already out. Guilty. And then you have the audacity to give the people's money away and not deal with this problem here. You done fucked up big time. And guess what? It doesn't matter who you all choose on this election day. It doesn't matter who you choose. If you're not willing to make either one of them address this issue, and white people should be the very ones that's knocking the door down with this goddamn issue. Since you're in and out of our skin every goddamn day, you blood-sucking vampires. Everything we do, there y'all go. Y'all fucking doing it. TikToking and all this other shit. You think that we don't see? We are the culture here. There is no culture without us. There's no fashion without us. There's a goddamn thing. You boring asses with your little useless shit that y'all run around and do. Bunch of bullshit, eating uncooked meat and whatnot. And y'all think y'all fucking cute on the planet. You motherfuckers drop off the fucking side of the goddamn Antarctica. Just blow your asses off of there. I must compose myself. But just a little taste of what some of us are thinking out here. We sick and tired of you motherfuckers. That's a fact. But don't act like there's not a plan, because I'm giving it to you now. Correct all this shit 1 through 7, motherfuckers. Correct it today. Get it popping. Correct your historical ignorance and fucking denial, your cognitive dissonance, cultural conditioning, your fear of social consequences, and your loss of privilege. If you don't go somewhere with your lack of racial stamina and your individualism over collectivism and unity, addressing white fragility involves normalizing conversations about race. We should be past this right here. We've been talking. What the fuck are y'all gonna say? All y'all do is sit there and listen. You never say nothing. Oh, we willing to have a conversation. You lying bastards, you. Just a little taste of what thousands and millions of us think of you motherfuckers, but they won't say it. Am I scared of losing this little channel? No, the fuck I'm not. You're not paying me on here anyway. It's also about you bitch ass crackers developing the emotional resilience needed to confront uncomfortable realities. We don't give a fuck how uncomfortable your little stinking asses are. Uncomfortable. I hope the sun turns up 1,000,000,000 times more. Even if I get burnt in the process, your ass got to go to Earth. If you don't get rid of this problem in 2025, that's in no time. That's how much fucking time I'm giving you spiritually, America. Your shit's gonna be a wrap. And you heard it from me. Because we're gonna normalize this conversation. I'm gonna do it every goddamn chance I get, so stay out my face. The first resistance I see, your ass better scatter, because you might get slapped to the moon. Stop thinking that we weak out here because we have not fucked y'all up in this country yet. Facts. Not before the payments are made. Your ass won't feel it. There will be no sleep. There will be no vacations and fun with your family. You may think that's what's happening, but something's going to come and shut your shit down. How you like that? Doesn't matter whether I'm in this body or not. And you better make sure I stay alive for a long time. Because I'm going to turn this motherfucker out when I leave. For a long time. Y'all are going to be wondering, why did Sally's head just explode in thin air? Maybe it's Tanya 23 on the other side. Now, solutions. You see, because let me explain myself. I'm a little harsh and a little hostile because y'all taking too fucking long to solve this goddamn problem. Like there's nothing you can do. You don't want to talk about reparations or anything. That's only one faction of what the fuck y'all got to do. You see this list? You got 1 through 11. Perfect. Perfection. The plan. Now, what you're not going to do is say, there wasn't a plan, because I'm giving you the fucking plan. If you go through this 1 through 7, we'll be all right. Keep practicing it every day, your little white fragility ass. Wake up alive on the 3rd dimension. This is what you won't practice when it comes down to this goddamn racism and being biased. Number 1, you better hurry up and get in there and fix that credit system. Stop letting it weed us out by social security number. Y'all know when black people applying for credit, and you definitely apply some different rules to our approval ratings. You're full of shit if you think we don't know. You think all of that stuff is hidden? Nothing is hidden. Everything is exposed now. And your ass is looking more raggedy than ever on the planet. Since you like jumping in people's goddamn skin, soon you won't be able to even go anywhere on the planet without being fucked up. You got some nerve. There's not a plan. All of your bachelors and masters and PhD and doctorates, and what are you a doctor of? Running? What are you in a fucking marathon? Running from black people and racism? Systematic racism? You on the fucking run? I noticed that little skinny heifer Beyonce and the other chick in the goddamn suit looking like a boy. I noticed all they was worried about was some damn abortions. Did we come to some agreement about reparations and getting this land together? So your little idols are full of shit, and they about to be out of here too. She got to go. And a damn man. They used to be my favorite couple. I spent all the money on the CDs from them, so they better shut their goddamn mouth. I ain't Jaguar, right? Okay. Bomba Clyde. We got spirit child too. What's the cap on that ass? I ain't talking about the cap you think. Spiritual cap. That spiritual shit. That's what I'm talking about. Some people came to this planet for a reason, and we're not playing. So, my words, I'm a free being, and I will speak. Or you can just ban this little fucking page, but I tell you what, that's about it. Now, like I said, they sashayed they ass up on that stage, said some crap like, go for her about some damn abortion. Little bitches, I'm in menopause. What's up with that? What are you talking about? Not the only issue that should be talking. And black women, you're another goddamn problem. Keep pushing behind this lady with your ignorant asses. Don't nobody care about your skipping damn bunny hop dance that you learned in goddamn HBCU or whatever. We don't give a shit about that. Like, social media is not really painting the picture right. Show the people that's like, get that shit up out of here. We got children that need help. You skipping and bunny hopping down to fucking school. Sickening little heifer, yo. That's right. The streets is watching. And we ain't missing a goddamn beat. We seen all of this crap going on. First thing y'all gonna do, get this shit together, is expand education on racism and bias, number one. Get all y'all little white children and you sit them down and you tell them what the fuck you did on the planet to us. Always want to touch somebody's hair and this, that, thing. I just be too, just, y'all are ridiculous. Ridiculously incompetent. Because you don't have something that someone else has, you must deprive them. Who in the hell do you really think you are? Charging land taxes for life on a home? You've struggled 30 freaking years and you paid off your mortgage, finally got the last payment in. Oh my goodness, what a freaking trial that was. And now you're charged with paying the freaking taxes every year for the rest of your life? On Mother Earth's planet? Who in the world I need to see the contract that Mother Earth signed that you can pimp and slut her out and sell her land and whatnot and repossess shit. Land? After you've killed the people that were on it, unalive, I should say. And after all that, we have to expand racism because you're hiding those pictures from your children. What pictures am I talking about? Here we are writing stories. We're still writing stories, the horrors of lynching. Here we are. Here we are here. For instance, these are the images that you need to be sitting down, educating your children. You see all of you? This was your pastime. This is what you did for fun. To black males. And you would have done it to women too. After you raped her. Raped, whatever. Rape. Fuck all that YouTube. RAPE is what you did. All of this bullshit now. You got to put your words in. This is not for children, and it's specified on here. You expect someone to discuss this. You expect a black person or a so-called black person to look at this picture without feeling anything? No, that's your department. We have feelings over here. Melanin has a feeling factor in it. And look at every single freaking man here. Look real good. Incompetency. Fragility. Little dingling energy. And to think, most of these guys were probably members of a Catholic church. God has allowed all of this. That is another subject for another time. But I'm telling you, you need to put that shit down and get yourself. Pray to yourself. Because as you see, this shit still exists in certain places. This is when it was outright. They could just do whatever they want. They don't even have a law against white people calling black people niggers. There's no law prohibiting that. There's laws prohibiting, well, let's just throw it out there, anti-Semitism. That's crazy. That's white fragility gone demonic. Dressed up in the suit, look at every one of these. Your children, their children, and their children's children are the ones that feel some type of uncomfortability when you talk to them about race and equality. So it's a known fact. Let me get through this and then I'll give my commentary. But what I don't want you to do is forget this. Some of you need to print this out and hang it on a wall to where you have to look at it every day to keep yourself focused. Because y'all got more feelings to them with this kindness crap than God should allow. You should still have it in your mind that you need to be building your nation. Just like other people come here to do. And they do it right in front of your face. There's so much systemic racism that when they try to straighten up and fly right, and these guys probably weren't guilty of doing anything except for being black and being around these motherfuckers to get home. This is a tree in America somewhere. Minnesota. And this was a postcard. They were sending this around. Oh my God. What we're dealing with here is trying to negotiate with the children of demons. Now, they don't see themselves as demonic today, but until they make the changes from 1 through 7, you are working with these people every day. It doesn't matter if it's their offspring or not. When you grow up in a household, you get trained under how their mentality is. And see now, their daughters have all had children by then. And so now, all of you are finished. So now your grandchildren or great grandchildren are mulatto, half black and half white, but most of them come out looking black. The little curly hairdo and whatnot. But the problem is, you haven't paid up. You haven't paid up even in your Constitution. Back to the solution. After extending your education on racism and bias, then you encourage open dialogue. Society should foster environments where people feel encouraged rather than threatened. Okay, workplaces. Stop discriminating against us. Stop requiring more work of us than you do other employees. Story after story after story. I could start a whole page just on that. Racism in the workplace. Perhaps, let me write that down. Perhaps we'll have a separate podcast for the people to speak about that, because I've been through it many times myself, and I will speak about it. There's no help for us. We get railroaded out of jobs where literally we can have lawsuits, but they go to the Jewish lawyers and they don't want to take the case because they know the CEOs to the companies and all this other things, so they get to make the verbal choice. Oh, I don't think you have a case. Bullshit. If I was racially discriminated against systematically, that actually does monetary gain. But that's another part of the system that is racist, your unemployment system. There is nothing from jobs wrongfully fire people. They don't get and you can't even find a fucking lawyer to take them type of cases. If somebody had a couple, yes, through the system, because white people go to their lawyers for everything. Boom, boom, boom. Cease and desist. Boom, boom, boom. All these different things that they can draw up. But when a black person gets wrongfully fired off their job, you just gotta suck it up and move on. Systemic racism. Workplaces, schools. I've experienced racism in schools. I don't even bother with community organizations that are fully white, and I might be like the only black person out of one or two, and the other parent looks black. They're acting like they're not, and I don't have time for that type of shit. Like my children were in school, their principals knew me, and I was corrected. I go up in there anytime I feel like it and talk to that darn principal. Like, how come? I said to him, I said, check this out. You called me to talk to me about one thing, but I'm telling you this thing. I just walked up in this school. You don't have no kind of metal detectors or anything. For all I know, there could be something that goes on here, and my child will be at danger. But I'm just letting you know. If anything happens, your ass is grass. Y'all need to get some sort of metal detectors on these doors. They don't even have metal detectors on the doors. How back in the future could you in the past, could you actually be? But I said, I'll tell you one thing. Nothing bad not happened to one of my enemies. Because it's going to be the Tanya 23 school for children, the name going across. So if it's one thing and know my rights above and beyond. And no, I'm not a lawyer, but I can defend myself as if I was one. I was asked by some snooty dumbass rent lawyer, because I was taking a slumlord to court, and he brought some Jewish lawyer, and I represented myself, and I bust his ass, and I got 6 months free rent for myself and the other tenants. That's right, all by myself. And the judge asked me, "Do you have an education in law?" Yes, I do. I'm actually in business law administration right now. Who the hell are you to ask me some damn questions about my education? Because you have this bias and you think every black person is fucking idiot. That's where that came from. When I say, yeah, we're not all dumb, don't look at me with your red face, because I just read your damn mind. Systemic racism is not said, but is done. Structural inequalities from an early age. Inclusive education also involves teaching students to analyze social dynamics, power structures, and historical biases, equipping them to have constructive conversations about race and equality. Because I'll be damned if my grandchildren will still be going through this systemic racism. Nah, we ain't doing that. This shit is getting ready to go this generation, this goddamn year. Because I'll tell you what, if you don't start working on your systemic racism, all of the systems have to die. Which means your shit's going down along with it. So I'm praying every day for mine. That's right. P-R-E-Y. Now, what y'all teaching in these schools is crap when it comes down to history. All you think that we were slaves in your little books. If you have textbooks, because most schools get it, y'all. Most schools don't even have textbooks anymore. They're learning from pieces of paper from their teacher. I'm sorry, but the kids now aren't getting a quality education. So they really aren't going to have time to discuss racial inequality and systematic racism. It's up to this generation to set that in place. They can just, the system needs to be set up so they can just roll through it and learn how to operate in it. You have to promote empathy and cultural competence. Empathy training, yeah. White people, y'all do need empathy training. So you can just hurt or possibly unalive a person because their skin is brown. We'll have to have a conversation with AI about this feeling of inferiority that makes one be makes one go into violence. What's wrong with these? Definitely need to find a way to promote empathy training and help people understand different perspectives and build sensitivity to racial issues. As soon as somebody say racism, oh, the eyes roll, this and that, they're always trying the race card. The race card. I'm glad nobody say that to me, because they probably get slapped to the moon. And that would be the card. My handprint will be there, the card to hold on your face. ever say that to me, remember that. Increasing representation, accuracy, and diversity in media and popular culture helps combat stereotypes. Y'all always showing shooting, stabbing gangs, shooting, stabbing, killing, killing gangs, stabbing gangs, stealing, killing juveniles, stabbing, killing. Y'all never show nothing good. That there ain't not one good kid out there, black kid doing something for themselves in life. Not one. This is done on purpose, friends. Your media representation, not these little lily white people that don't really come out in society too much. If they get their perspective of who we are by media representation, that's bad. They represent us as savages all the time. Illiterate women and beastly men. And now you have a third component, which is the man and the woman combined all in one. They have rights and everything. But everything living on the planet should have rights. So, what is the problem with settling the score with the Nubians? It says in your constitution that we're only 3/5 of a human being. A whole is 5/5. That equals 1. Right? 5 divided by 5 equals 1. How can someone be 3/5 of a person? Why has that not changed yet? That simple thing. What is the problem? No, white people. Not until some real concrete things are done. No. I will never stop praying and sending my energy to end systemic racism so that I can be free these next 50 years of my life. I have been held in bondage financially by you people, and you're not that high on my fucking list right now. I pretty much don't go anywhere because I live the neighborhood is getting very diverse, but I don't bother. I just don't. One can tell when they meet me, it's the thing. Even when I'm trying to be like, hi, how you doing? Okay, gotta go. The fuck out my face. More people need to start doing that. Come on now. Let's get this shit together. We're not gonna get it together like that. Because they think that they have a path now. Anything goes now. And it is the thing. There are a lot of us that have no book learning at all. Just going through life haphazardly. They love that. And y'all don't like to even read books. More and more people are waking up every day, but how can you? Well, there's a plan for everything. I'm going to give the Nubians a plan for peace amongst themselves. There's not going to be any reason why systemic racism is not top on the list. Because you're definitely going to get the manual back as a Nubian in this land. I'm afraid it needs to be written because you must be told, because obviously you don't know. after they address their media represent. And this is the thing, a lot of local, this is how the news matrix goes. Everybody is segregated, even in the news, because they don't want people in Chicago to know what's going on in Minnesota. And Minnesota people don't want to necessarily know what's going on in Chicago and whatever have you. It's broken down and segregated. You don't see what's going on in New York City news. New York City news doesn't see what's going on there unless it's something huge that happens and it makes national news, which everybody reports on it. But they definitely don't address the issues that really need to be addressed. It's like the elephant in the room. Nobody wants to talk about systemic racism. The systems were created like before we were slaves. They were creating all of these systems so that we could build it for them. You understand? Oh, y'all free. Free to what? Run up into all of these systems they got. So literally the systems were designed for you because they don't treat each other like that. One time I walked into a bank because I needed to cancel my bank card or whatever and get a new one. Okay. Usually you gotta wait for it to get mailed to you. And they all come from Buffalo, New York. Okay, not a problem. They come fairly fast. The manager says, "Hey, I like you. I'm going to do you a favor." I said, "Okay, what would that be?" I'm like, "You ready to put some money in my account? What's up?" He says, "I'm going to give you a new bank card today." He goes in his drawer. He pulls out a blank bank card. And he sets it up and everything for me. I walk out the bank with a bank card. Unheard of. Unheard of. So, white folks had been coming in there to get their car replaced. They was walking in the bank getting a card. He just felt like being nice to me while he unveiled the secret. That was a huge secret for me. You mean they got the bank cards in the... I mean, I had been doing this for years. Anytime, I would always have to wait for it to come in the mail. Not that time. And when he opened up that can of worms, hey, what else are you hiding? Encourage self-reflection and accountability. Institutions and workplaces can support initiatives that encourage individuals to recognize and understand their own biases. How could you be walking around on the planet and not know your own biases? You know why? Because you've been being allowed to be biased. No one's ever said anything to them. They were allowed to operate that way. Most likely because they are always amongst their own people. Reflection activities such as bias training and journaling exercise can help people confront difficult truths about privilege and inequality. That's right, because you have to ask yourself and answer questions about how you roll. It's called shadow work. Every white person needs shadow work when it comes down to living on a planet with black people. It's such an adjustment for them. Who in the freak do they think they are? Can people confront difficult truths about privilege and inequality? It's also important to hold individuals accountable. Well, what do you think is a fair accountability for doing something like this to a person? Anybody care to take on that one? What is a fair accountability for that? And these are some of them might be, I don't know if some of them, the oldest guy is still alive or whatever, but some of these still have influence in your government. It could be senators or whatever, congressmen alike, people that make decisions. Now, when and how long is an individual supposed to take for them to come up with holding themselves accountable in ways that encourage growth rather than defensiveness? When are they going to approach Black people about this? Never. We're letting them get away with it by us not approaching them correctly. Develop racial stamina through consistent practice. Like any skill, the ability to engage in open, constructive conversations, which means talking about the nasty stuff that took place, and coming up with a solution. The constructive conversation is by coming in, having the questions. Listen, our people are down bad. We need for you to honor this contract once and for all now, so we can just go ahead about our way. For many of us, reparations is comfort for what happened to your family. So many things are still prevalent in families. Do you think where the mother and father were being raped, that didn't bring homosexuality into the picture, perhaps for the next generation? The children were forced to work in the fields when they were, 5 years old? They had to be out there picking cotton. They worked the children. Is that where the child labor laws come from? It says fostering regular ongoing conversations about race and equity. Conversations are going to be terrible for them because you're going to have to talk about what the heck took place. The pregnant mothers being thrown in these swamps in Florida, letting the pregnant baby being eaten. A lot of times they would hang the woman and cut the baby out of her belly. These are the same people you think you gonna freaking negotiate with, unless they have cleansed themselves of the demonic genes that run through their veins. Because if your father was one of these guys, that means to get along with your mother, they had to be on the same page about race. Wow. This is deep. But you definitely have to develop racial stamina in consistent practice. People develop racial stamina and become more comfortable dealing with discomfort. Listen, whatever trainings or workshops that these white people need so that they can deal with their discomfort, they need to be made to go there and get it done. Get her done. whatever you need to do for your discomfort, some Tums or something, whatever. But we can't continue to take that as an excuse of why this subject is not progressing a lot more. Inclusive leadership, representation in leadership is essential. Yeah, I would like to know who the leadership is that's approaching these policies or whatever. I would love to know that. Because yes, there are some people out here that have answers. But where do we give them to? Where, who, what, when? Ensuring that leaders from diverse backgrounds are part of a decision-making process creates a ripple effect, modeling constructive racial dialogue and accountability for others within organizations. That's what I just had tonight. Constructive racial dialogue. 8. Shift from individual guilt to a collective responsibility. The first thing one of y'all say, well, I didn't bring anybody from the tree. Nobody said you did, but your great-grandfather did. And as a matter of fact, you stand on the very foundation of Black people that built your homes and picked your cotton so you could make money to even have a home and land. And some of that land is still in your family still today. Acreages and acreages that you got by the sweat off of someone else's back. You bum. Want to sit on your ass and look like a dried out plum all day? While someone else does your bidding, huh? And you say those people don't deserve to have the Constitution fixed? When you take the shift, it will let people see you as an ally and maybe working together toward greater justice and equality rather than feeling personally implicated or defensive. Why is that? You're definitely part of a collective responsibility. That would be ignorant to say that you personally and individually are responsible for what happened to the Nubians. I would then ask you to seek some therapy. That's a wild question. Of course, we didn't say you did it directly, but if they didn't correct the problem, you're now in that position that your family member was in. Now it's your duty to hold them accountable. You know, maybe the devil will turn down the flame on his ass a couple of days. Because you can guarantee if that hell that they created, that's exactly where they're going. And if he's already there, you can now make amends. But no, as we see, your generations are holding that blood-stained banner right on up. Y'all don't intend on being fair and honoring the contract of the 40 acres and the mule. Y'all do not want to honor that contract. And it's right in front of our faces. And you think you're getting away with that. Support anti-racism legislation and policies. Where are they? Legal and policy changes play a crucial role in dismantling systemic racism, creating fairer access to resources. Well, they already know that the access to resources is not fair. Education, that means that's an admittance. They understand these problems exist. Anti-racism policies, such as anti-discrimination laws, housing reform. Like, why do y'all want black people to live so deplorably? Even the way I made those buildings. Purposely. Because y'all are haters on the inside. Everything y'all do for black people is systemically set up in some hater way. It's never for them to progress. Just mad at what? The Bible doesn't talk about us being cursed. It's you motherfuckers that's cursing us. Every freaking day with your systemic racism. Legal and policy changes play a crucial role in dismantling racism. Dismantle it. These conversations dismantle it because it's on the table. What is the problem? Number 10, build accountability structures. For instance, the Catholic Church. They go in SA children, little boys, and then when they get exposed, they don't get charged like regular citizens. They do not have any courts for the priests. They do not charge them with crimes. That is a regular process that has been written into what they do, and it's been going on for years and years and years. How sick is that? And then they get a pat on the wrist and shuffled off to a different church. Well, this world definitely has some hell to pay. Society needs clear systems of accountability in workplaces, schools, and communities to address incidents of racial bias effectively. This can include reporting channels, restorative justice practices, and clear policies that define expectations for respectful, inclusive behavior, creating a norm of responsibility rather than defensiveness. This just brought up a memory of when I was racially discriminated against on a job. And when I went to human resources to talk about it, they went through the process of asking me to have a meeting with my boss at the time. And there was a mediator, and she had said something. Like she expected me to stay after 5 to finish some project that was due. And I was like, no can do. I worked on it all day up until 5 o'clock. Now I have to go. And she's going to do something on my performance because of it. And I was like, oh no, you're not. So we had a problem, and I took her ass to HR. And their conclusion was, of course, I was right. I do not have to stay after 5. And if so, I need to be told a day in advance. What has not told. I'll let you know I can stay after 5. You're not telling me to do shit. Accountability in workplaces is so bad how they do in workplaces, schools, and communities to adjust. It's like having a fight in school because some kid called you the N-word. You kick his behind, you get suspended and they don't. Such bullshit. How they do us in schools. So the kids be like, fuck that. Fuck this bullshit. They be wilding out. Anyway, workplaces, schools, and communities to address incidents of racial bias effectively. This can include reporting channels, restorative justice practices, clear policies that define expectations for respectful, inclusive behavior, creating a norm of responsibility rather than defensiveness. All they seem to be worried about is being offended and defended. Implementing these steps require ongoing effort and commitment, but collectively they can help foster a culture of discussions about race are seen as vital part of social progress. But see, that's the thing. We won't be discussing. We've already done that for years. We want to see some results. Understanding of race and privilege society. You don't need to understand a person to cut the check. And you don't need, it'll take you a lifetime. You'll never understand me. Okay? So my question was, when it's 10 and I told you it was 11, I had to press it more. Why is it? Because I was trying to see if AI was going to come up with reparations on its own. But it didn't. So I said, wow. So I said, why isn't reparations for systematic racism on the list? And it responded, reparations for systemic racism is a crucial and often overlooked component, you all too, of addressing racial inequalities. And you're absolutely right. I know I am. That's right. It should be part of this conversation. Reparations can serve as both a tangible and symbolic act that acknowledges historical wrongs and the enduring impact of slavery, segregation, discriminatory practices and policies, and ongoing systemic racism. Here's why including reparations in efforts to reduce white fragility and create a more equitable society is essential. It's essential. Acknowledging injustices. Reparation would force society to confront the legacy of slavery, Jim Crow laws, redlining, and other racially discriminatory practices that everyone knows happens day to day. Open acknowledgement, for once, is a critical step in healing racial divides and fostering accountability. Keep trying not to acknowledge that this shit happened. You are the worst. Closing the racial wealth gap. That is the problem. Decades of policies have been restricted. Decades of policies that have restricted Nubians access to houses. No. Y'all are gonna burn, man. You're gonna burn now. Okay. Education and employment opportunities have led to a significant wealth gap. Reparations could help close this gap, enabling Nubian families to build generational wealth. That's what they don't want us to have. They stole our generational wealth and then they build up all of these systems to keep us from creating it again. Black Wall Street, they bombed the people of America. Bombed them because they their own center where they can do business. They bombed it. Motherfuckers talking about they don't owe us reparations. I hope you fucking die. Whoever says that, goodbye. Fucking dumbass. And reduce economic inequalities that persist due to past and current systematic racism. Transformative justice. Reparations go beyond symbolic gestures, such as apologies, by offering concrete support for communities harmed by historical injustices. This approach aligns with the idea of collective responsibility, helping everyone understand the society as a whole is accountable for redressing these harms, rather than framing systematic racism as a personal issue or individual fail. Bullshit. No, the hell it's not. Never. I wish, anybody that does that, join the crew that gotta get up out of here. Building empathy through historical context. Not when that what's the mayor or the governor of Florida, what's his name? DeSantis, trying to take teachings about Black history out of schools. So you really just want to erase, really? He's definitely one of the children of the people that was doing this. Definitely in some relation to one of these. And they all got suits, but still look dusty. You're reducing defense responses. Reparations represent a proactive approach. That's what they're not. Never tried. Why isn't that on this ballot? Reducing defensive responses. When people see that society is actively addressing and compensating for racial injustice, it can reduce the defensiveness that often arises in discussions about privilege and inequality by reframing the conversation from who's to blame to how can we repair and improve. But they have been pushing civil war in this country for the longest time. I believe that's why all you see on the media is bullshit from Black people. Death, murder, drugs, and killing. Everyone's a rapper. Encouraging systemic reform. Reparations would involve not only financial compensation, but also significant reforms in policies and institutions, housing, education, criminal justice, and healthcare that perpetuate racial disparities. These systemic reforms could reduce the likelihood of future inequalities and shift the focus of conversation about race from individual bias to institutional accountability. Let us take a moment and think about what you just heard. Adding reparations to the list of solutions for addressing white fragility underscores the need for a comprehensive approach to healing from systematic racism. Now, this is healers, in which I am. When we work with our people, we know stress and the toxic energy where it is from and what it is about. We always know. Because our people, we continue to need healing and more healing and more healing. Because we are still under systematic racism, y'all. We're still, because what we're talking about isn't grounded in the truth. Because if it was grounded in the truth, we'd be talking about true things that are happening right now. And everything that y'all are talking about is fucking irrelevant. To me, anyways. Because I don't think you should open your legs unless you're willing to know what can happen. And have a plan from there. Abortions is not a form of birth control. It really is disheartening to see y'all out here, and that's all y'all talking about. The right to have an abortion. That means y'all doing some wild stuff with your body that you don't want the world to know about. But before I go, let me just leave the uneducated a complete description of what systematic racism is. It is a thought-provoking show that dives into the complexities of systematic racism, exploring how historical policies and institutional biases have created lasting inequalities in society. Each episode will break down the structures and systems that perpetuate racial disparities in areas like education, housing, healthcare, and criminal justice. Next live, we're doing the criminal justice. We're doing brothers that have been wrongly accused, and we're going to go on a hunt to see just how many there are. There are thousands. And they seem to have been ruled under some other code of law, right? With the help of expert insights, real-life stories, and hard-hitting statistics, systematic racism not only sheds light on the roots of these issues, but also proposes actionable solutions, from reparations and policy reforms to community-led initiatives. We discuss realistic ways to dismantle inequality and create a more equitable future for all. The show is a journey towards understanding, accountability, and most of all, change. So join us as we envision a society where injustice is accessible to everyone. Yes, family. Yes, yes, yes. But before we go, we all know that we have to do our own thing to make it in this society. So I want you to take a moment to look at my product selections and different things that I have. And if you would take a moment to go to www.tanya23.com, you can see all I have to offer there for you guys. Organic, lovely products that I make by hand. And a lot of the herbs I actually grow. Peace and love, peace and love. Welcome to SheaButterMe.com podcast. That's right. This is the podcast where Shea Butter Me has a lot to say as she sells her products, honey. That's right. Can't forget to do that. also has a mega mall on her website, honey. That's right, at www.tanya23.com/mega mall. That's right, she's got electronics, crystals, and she's got every single thing, household items, everything you can think of, because we are a mall. And if there's something that you see if there's something that you like and you don't see on our website, well, just click that chat button and you will be able to get right to Tanya23.com herself, honey. And there's nothing better than that. Yes, she will take your order live right on phone, and you can get online with her and she can share the screen with you, honey, and we can make our transaction. That's right. Shea Butter Me is the new way, okay? Because all those other stores are whack, alright? Give us a try. We drop ship just like the store that starts with an A. That's right. We drop ship our items from our mega mall right to your door, honey. And you can even order your organic products from Shea Butter Me. They get shipped right to your door also. And nothing beats a failure but a try, honey. So we will look forward to seeing you at www.tanya23.com, the home of Shea Butter Me by Tanya23. All right, yes. So a couple of adjustments. We don't have our Shopify store anymore. They are robbers and whatnot. I am fixing my website so I can do my own thing, because that's what I do, my own thing. And so yes, the website is www.tanya23.com, as you see on the ticker right there. And if anyone feels like they would love to support the podcast, we have our Cash App, which is $Tanya1116. That's right, 1116. And I'd just like to thank you for your time and your ears to listen. Literally think about this, and I lined it, I have everything written. Yes, it's not as hard a thing as they are making it seem. They just don't want to see any progress in that area, and that is the bottom line. So you have a lot of Black people that are trying to, or Nubians that are trying to save face by saying we don't need this and that. Nah, it's not about your needs. It's about settling up and getting rid of some of this disparity, and to actually pay fiat and land for your crime against the Nubian family. A lot of the stuff y'all did not have to take place. You don't need to, your whole family doesn't need to be raped in order to pick cotton. The fuck is that all about? Disgusting ass people, yo. And those that don't think that you need to stand up for what your forefathers did and make amends and go ahead and get this reparations package going, you're gonna die. Plain and simple. Your Bible said the children pay for the sins of the parents, so get to cutting the check. The fuck are you waiting for? I guess the whole entire thing has to be a wrap for you to see what you needed to do. all of the contributions that we made to society that you stole. Like, I literally would sentence you to death for shooting off the nose of the Sphinx. That's a reason to. That's death penalty reasons there. You shot off the nose. Why is that? I said to someone, I'm so shocked that they didn't replace it with some European ass nose. All the way back there, where you guys just pillaged and pillaged and pillaged and pillaged everywhere you went on the planet. This isn't the only thing you need to make amends for, but it is the biggest problem right now. Right here. You devastated these people with crack cocaine. Still seeing the effects, and now you're complaining about the children of the crackheads? Are you fucking kidding me? Man up. You created these problems. And you know what's even more incredible? Your children are now tainted. Your children are dominating the rap concerts more than the Nubians. If you don't settle this problem, you guys are finished in more ways than one. The race is going to be extinguished because everyone's going to be a mulatto. You guys are going to be no more shortly. Because those same grandchildren, they're going to have children, probably with black men. The majority of them will. So, your inheritances fall right back in the hands that they're supposed to be in. But that doesn't work for everyone. Do you see how God works? You wouldn't have imagined way back here that your daughter would be having a baby with him. Now you've created a whole new race. Hopefully, and all of the riches that you all have accumulated for doing these things, it's going to fall right back in the hands of who it needs to be in. Y'all got a lot of paying to do. What could you do for these 3 souls here? 3 men. Every last one of you, according to your book, should be going to hell. Already there. Are you already there? Just like we're nothing. You want our organs, our skin, our eyeballs. Slime, man. Just slime. Until y'all do something to try to make amends for this current systemic racism, die. Seriously. I'll definitely be keeping you in my prayers. That's fact. Every day. They say you keep tapping on the jar, eventually it's gonna break. And then eventually, your ass gonna broke. Your ass gonna be broke. You understand? Let me close the verdict. You're guilty. You will pay restitution of every fucking thing you own, just like that Giuliani. All of your asses. You're coming for our shit. Period. And it will be given up. End of discussion. And on that note, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel, as we will be discussing this more. till it happens. Till something happens. You can't keep running forever. Shout out to all the Scorpios this month and myself. Hey, so you can run, but you can't hide. Scorpio, Sun, Cancer, Moon, see it in my eyes. See, I'm tired of all the problems in the world. They act like they can't solve them. Well, with a little technology, we can solve them. One thing is you can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. But you can't hide. Can't you see the babies crying? They don't have no food. Can't you see the tears going down their eyes? Yes, family. Be patient. Just one moment. We're almost done. I have to close this out with a prayer. Okay, as we close out with prayer. Let all hearts and minds be on one accord as we pray. Great Serket, mighty protector and healer, queen of the scorpion sting and sovereign of justice, we call upon you to shield those who suffer and bring your light to the darkest corners of injustice. Serket, we ask you to cast your gaze upon the chains of racism, bound deep in the heart of this world, rooted in oppression and fear. With your breath, break the falsehoods and deceptions that divide and wound, creating suffering across generations. Serket, I also ask that you bring clarity to all who refuse to see, that you open the minds of those who deny these truths. Let their hearts stir with the realization of the harm. and guide them towards actions and heal and restore. If this injustice remains unbroken, mighty Circuit, tell them what you will do. I shall bring forth the sting of reckoning upon those who uphold these chains, unleashing the scorpion's truth to pierce their hardened hearts. For if you close your eyes to the cries of the oppressed, the venom of your own indifference shall consume you. So hear us, Circuit, as we commit to change. Grant us the courage to challenge the systems that divide us, to rebuild a world where every spirit stands free, valued, and protected. May your strength fuel us. May your vision guide us. And may your justice rain down, cleansing this world from all that divides. In the name of the Great, let it be so. Ashe.
You can run, but you can't hide. Can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. Can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. Can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide.
Remember, you can find my products at www.tanya23.com. I'm also a 12-book author. Go on Amazon and type in Tanya, Tonya, Alston, Alston. You shall find me there. Also, Circuit, Cerket, Amunre, Amunre on Amazon. You find my books there. Any questions, please email houseoftanya23@gmail.com. Peace, y'all.